right, welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian, and today we are going to be talking about AMC and Regal's war with Universal, Daredevil potentially being in the new Spider-Man movie, Disney remaking Hercules for live action, Space Jam 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a couple other stuff as well. But first up, there may be potential for a Office reunion.
Yeah, office reunion. I mean, this has been something that I think all of them have been talking about for a long time. Like if you have seen any of those actors in the media, like
hmm
almost every time someone asks them, "Is there an office?" Like literally, you could probably go on like YouTube, type in any interview with John Krasinski or uh a- any of the cast basically, and they're like, "So is there an office reunion coming?"
Yeah,
The answer is always we all want to do it. It's just a matter of like the right script and the right time.
right.
You know,
And yeah, I think there was even a late night episode on, I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, or it was somebody, but they were saying they had like a little mini Office reunion that was like unofficial, where just a bunch of the cast members got together and just talked on a
sure.
late night show here. But yeah, no, nothing in an official like scripted capacity here.
Yeah, I think that we're getting to a point where the office popularity is just not going away.
Yeah,
And I think they're paying attention to that. So even if you don't have, let's say, Jim and Michael, because those I think are probably the two busiest people, John Krasinski and Steve Carell,
yeah.
out of the whole cast. Maybe
At
Ed
this point,
Helms.
at this point in time, yeah. And then I don't think Jenna Fisher is really doing anything really significant at this point in time. I could be
No,
wrong. I haven't
they're
seen it or anything.
and so her and Angela are doing a podcast called The Office Ladies, which is actually pretty
Yeah.
good. They're going through all the like a bunch of Office episodes and giving kind of the inside scoop on it.
Oh, that's
Now,
cool.
yeah, and so obviously that had been backed by Greg Daniels and all those people saying, yeah, you can, you
You can
know,
talk about this or
right, and
whatever.
they have guests on their show, and
Yeah.
so I think there will be a day or a maybe a mini series. There'll be a day that we do get an Office reunion or reboot, and
Yeah.
probably not a reboot, but maybe just like where are they now? Kind of like we got in
Yeah.
the last episode, but maybe like like a 12 episode season, like on Netflix or something. Or
Yeah.
obviously it's going to be probably be Peacock because that's
No, it's
their streaming service for
more likely
NBC.
than not. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and the whole reason why this news even came up in the first place was because Greg Daniels, the showrunner of The Office, said he would love to do something, some sort of something. That's his
Yeah.
quote. And they talked about that they may use like an unused script that they had all the way back from season one, which was titled Pet Day. And my guess is it revolves around like showing pictures of your pet, bringing your pet into work or something along those lines. I don't know, but
I just don't know how they would do that though. Like,
yeah, I don't know how they would do that either. That's probably why the script got scrapped here, to be honest. But no, I mean, yeah, The Office is very popular even to this day, and it's being picked up by not just millennials, but also like the Gen Z crowd is really digging it, and even like I don't know what middle schoolers are even called like these days. Are they considered Gen Z right now?
I don't know.
Okay, well, either way, I mean, they're watching it for the first time on Netflix and they love it here. And it's honestly like you'd have to be an idiot to not capitalize on this in some way, shape, or form here.
I'm surprised NBC hasn't ordered like some kind of pilot season of The Office later years or something like along those lines because
Yeah.
uh
Well,
I mean it's gonna be a moneymaker. It doesn't have to be a long season. It could be 12 episodes. Like we're used to that format now.
I mean, I'm kind of wondering if they might be like maybe kicking themselves for not green lighting The Farm, the spinoff
Honestly,
show
yeah.
with Dwight, because I feel like obviously you could have had some longevity with that. People, really like Dwight.
You could have had different
Um,
characters from The Office show up.
exactly. But no, I think I'm really surprised. Yeah, there hasn't been something that has been done yet. I mean, there has to be like a sequel series, a reunion, even like a spin-off, maybe it focuses on like a different branch of Dunder Mifflin, and then you have uh cameos or like guest appearances from the original show on there. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I'd
think it
be
has
up
to be
for
the
this.
original. It has to be with the original cast, or at least
Yeah,
most of them.
at least in some capacity. I mean, heck, I'd even wouldn't mind just seeing a show that's just revolving around Dwight just running the office and just all the shenanigans he comes up with in terms
Well,
of
that could happen. I mean, that's where they left off with, and
yeah,
as
exactly.
as long as they have a film crew still on Michael, so we
Hmm.
still get like he doesn't have to be in every episode, but kind of like Jan was, where she'd show up every once in a while, maybe like
Yeah,
just check in with them to see what they're doing over there.
yeah,
Uh, maybe Michael Scott Paper Company is up and running in
yeah.
Colorado. Um,
Or or like what it would be really really great is like Dwight is trying to like kind of figure out, okay, I got this new problem as a manager. How do I deal with that? I have to turn to the one person that knows this job better than anybody else here. And basically
right.
Michael is like his Skype mentor or something along those
I
lines.
mean, yeah, that could definitely happen with technology today. Skype was probably around when it was shooting, but not very big. So I don't know. I'm excited. I don't want this to be something they do just to do. I want it to be something they do because they think it's going to be successful too. Because we saw
Yeah.
how the writing got in the latter years of The Office. It
Oh
got
yes, we
sloppy.
did. No, very
Um,
sloppy, just very like no, it just wasn't fun. It just
so
wasn't funny. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, with the Parks and Rec reunion episode, the special they did for on NBC,
Yeah, COVID-19.
yeah, I mean, that was a hit. I think we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to give shows like The Office, just kind of reevaluate. Maybe we should do at least a special, or um, a 5 to 12 episode, where are they now things. Because I mean,
Honestly,
people do that all the time. Documentaries do that. Where are they now? And then that's a whole separate series. So
yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And no, just, quick side note on that whole Parks and Rec special. It's like spoilers ahead. We thought pretty highly of that reunion special. And if I was like, NBC, I'd be like, what are we doing here? Like we should be
Yeah.
doing this with The Office, Community should be doing this, like all the, great sitcoms for like something along these lines here. Because I mean, yeah, it's like you have to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. Well, this is not in our notes, but it kind of goes in hand with the Office reunion. The Russo brothers, I can't remember if it was Joe or Anthony, was on an interview with Collider.
Hmm.
And, obviously, Abed has famously said 6 seasons in a movie
Yes.
for The Cape, or was it The Cape? Yeah,
Yeah, it
that
was
was a
for
show he watched, and Jeff was like, it's not going to last,
a
a
season.
season, and it didn't. But that's kind of been the ongoing thing with fans in Community was 6 seasons in a movie. They got to 6 seasons, and the Russo brothers have straight up said, "We would love to make a movie."
Yeah,
Um,
which whatever capacity that looks like, if it's just like a direct to Netflix or Hulu type thing or whatever
Yeah,
here.
and that's kind of what they talked about in the interview a little bit, was because apparently it's like in the top 10 on Netflix since it's premiered. Which, duh, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like that old man who I feel very hipster when it comes to Community, and I'm sure you might too. Where people are starting to like it now. I'm like, where were you 10 years ago?
Yeah,
Where
you
were
could have
you when my show was getting canceled because you
yeah,
guys were not watching this
you
and
could
giving
have
them the
bought
ratings they deserved?
our show more seasons.
Totally.
And
Good
yeah, no, it
season.
didn't happen. But
But
yeah.
I think if they do like a Community, if they're, I think the Russo brothers are actually serious. I think that there probably will be a movie,
Well,
eventually, and that's probably going to be a VOD, type of
yeah.
Netflix movie, whatever it might be. Netflix would be stupid not to capitalize on that. I think, and
Yeah.
but you have to. If Troy does not come back, do not make this movie.
No, no,
If
no.
Troy and Abed aren't there, It's
Yeah.
not going to like after Troy left, Community fell significantly in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, mainly because I don't think I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about the characters on that show, but Troy is the best character in tandem with Abed. He's
Yeah, I think
probably the funniest character.
I definitely got the most laughs from Troy Barnes and no, I think him and Abed are like two of the best written characters on the show here. I mean, obviously their friendship is legendary. Troy and Abed in the morning,
Yep.
you know. Uh no, I think it would be an absolute shame if they did this and they didn't get Donald Glover.
Yeah.
But no, I think if they are going to do this, I mean, I think there's a decent possibility just because reason being, Russo brothers have some clout that they can throw around. They're the
Oh,
guys who
big. They
they
got some big britches now.
yeah, they're like, "Hey, you know the most successful movie franchise of all time? Yeah, we put an end to on that here basically and we
Yeah.
made it amazing."
Yeah.
And also Dan Harmon is, decently big right now. He
Yeah.
is doing Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got some clout he can throw around too. So if they really wanted to, Dragon Ball Z fuse
Mhm.
and just throw clout around all over the place here,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna have to say, yeah, okay, we got to listen to these guys.
Yeah, I think Netflix is the perfect place, but
Well, especially considering how they did the El Camino Breaking Bad movie, like they did, they're not, they aren't in association with like really AMC in any sense that I'm aware of here, and they just said, hey, a lot of people watch Breaking Bad on
mhm.
Netflix. Why don't we put a Breaking Bad movie on Netflix and then people will come and watch it? And they
Right.
did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a big advocate of streaming services are going to be the only thing around in the next 5 to 10 years. There's not going to be
Yeah.
local channels or anything like that anymore. But
Yeah.
maybe for your news or whatever. But that's
Yeah.
about it. Um,
Well, but also possibly movie theaters, as our next topic is
yep.
going to be addressing.
I mean, so we've talked about this in the last couple podcasts. For those of you who are listening, and have listened for the last forever, but this podcast has been around, but especially since COVID started up, and we even talked about it before COVID, but just kind of how movie theaters are kind of moving out of a normal way to digest entertainment, if you will.
Mhm.
So AMC and Regal, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Maybe you haven't, but they are at odds with Universal.
Yes.
And so part of this being, they opted, and I don't know what the contract was, but basically they hosed AMC out of a lot of money. Um, and so Trolls World Tour, this is obviously it's a kids movie made by
Mhm.
DreamWorks. DreamWorks is associated with Universal Pictures. Um, so the video on demand platform is honestly,
It's popping right now.
well, it's going to be the future. Um, Studios get to keep 80% instead of 50% of
Mhm.
their total profits. I don't think movies will completely phase out of theaters. I think people will still go. I think movie theaters are gonna be a lot different, a lot smaller than they were. Trolls actually ended up earning 77 million. Is it in the first 3 weeks?
I think the
'Cause I
first
think now it's up to over 100 million.
Yeah, I think that might have been like the first 5 days actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I'd have to double check those numbers, but
but it far exceeded their expectations.
well, especially considering how I think the first Trolls movie I think made roughly like 150 like total.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no,
So
they definitely ran away with this one.
right, and obviously 80% of that money is a lot bigger than 50% of that money.
Correct, yes.
And so something we have to look at is obviously COVID.
Mhm.
A lot of
Yes.
parents are buying that for babysitting material because they're sick of their kids, and they're like, okay, like honestly, if If I had kids and they were young and at home, there if a movie like that came out, I'm buying it. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like let's take a break from all these other movies where like that you guys keep rewatching, and let's watch something new. Because as a parent, you're
Yeah.
watching it with them most of the time,
Typically, yeah.
especially when they're young. But
And you're hearing
yeah,
it in the background, like,
oh,
probably constantly.
all the time. It's unescapable. But
Yes.
yeah, so we've said, as much as we both like movie theaters, we I see video on demand being the future after coronavirus. I really hope they don't close their AMC's and all that stuff and Regals, because this is a huge deal. Like Universal's not a small studio, and it was initially the feud was with AMC. Now Regal's hopped on the bandwagon and is like, we're mad at you too. So
Yeah. Yeah, well,
yeah,
the whole point, the whole reason why this whole thing is getting started is because I don't think AMC and Regal are really upset that this movie about, child action figures ended up getting put on video demand just because they weren't able to put it in theaters. I think the main thing is because they earned so much money with this movie, Universal is now seeing it as, quote unquote, a winning strategy. And this is what they're planning on doing for future releases here. And so, yeah, as a result, they don't want to play their movies anymore in theaters. They literally banned them, which that's going to last only until like Fast and the Furious,
yeah.
9 comes out. So,
Is it 9 or
yeah,
10?
I don't know.
I think it's 10.
I last excuse me, last Fast and Furious movie I watched is 5. So that tells
Oh,
you how
I've
caught
seen
up
all
am
of
I
them,
am.
but I think it's 10. I think ten's the new one. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So the new Fast and
yeah.
the Furious, obviously it's supposed to come out this July, I think. Now it got pushed back to next July, if I'm not
I think
mistaken,
no. I think it was like actually
or
supposed to
June.
be for
Oh no, it was
April
May.
of the
No, it was May. It was May, I
or
think.
May, something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, so it's supposed to come out, this month, and now it is next year.
Mhm.
So I think and they said they're open to talking with them about what this looks like. Now, what I
Yeah.
can see them doing is doing the first month theaters, and then after that, just putting on demand.
Possibly.
I, I,
Yeah. I
I think
mean,
it helps out everyone. The people who want to go see it in the theaters are going to go see it in the theaters. Like, I don't want to watch Fast and the Furious at home. I want to go watch Fast and the Furious in a big theater with all the explosions and all that stuff happening.
correct. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially, when you have something that is a big action movie, big spectacle, like an Endgame, a John Wick, what have you, Star Wars, you want,
Matrix, yeah,
yeah, you like something that has like, cutting edge special effects, big, over dramatic action scenes. You want to see that on the big screen.
big
Like,
time.
yeah, exactly. But my personal feelings on this whole thing, I think this is stupidity from both parties because here's the thing. Obviously, coronavirus is impacting the way we receive entertainment, and theaters should not really get salty about the whole like video on demand thing, at least for right now. And Universal does need to calm down just because the only reason why I think this movie did well was just because of the parents that are in lockdown with their kids are tired of watching Frozen 2 for like the 100th time here,
Yeah,
they wanted something new, so they're like, so they looked at Trolls 2 or World Tour, whatever it's called, as a godsend. And AMC is legitimately on the verge of bankruptcy. You can't really be affording to play games like this because it's like you are literally cutting off like a potential source of revenue for your theaters with like the Fast and Furious franchise and other properties that Universal has under its umbrella.
yeah. I mean, like this is all obviously reactional. It's not. I don't think it's a thought out thing.
Yeah.
There's people scrambling at the AMC company and Regal company um, that just they need revenue, and so I think for them, establishing a video on demand platform is where they need to go,
Yeah.
and work with those companies and be like, hey, we'll provide the platform, we'll build it out. You guys can keep the 80%, we'll keep 20%. Like, do the same model, but just don't have it on Amazon or something like that. Like, have it on your own app. or partner with those companies. Like figure out a strategic strategy around this, because this is what's going to happen. Like I
Yeah.
don't obviously certain states are starting to open up as of now. That does not mean people are going to be comfortable with going back to the theater.
No,
Uh,
I mean, social distancing guidelines are still going to be in effect here. I feel like, you're not going to have,
even when they're not, though, people are still going to have that fear.
yeah.
I think this thing, this I'm not even going to call it a pandemic because it's not really, but I mean it is. I think especially with what it's done to the economy, I think it's a pandemic. But
Well,
with the social
well,
distancing and stuff, it's not what would constitute something of this magnitude. I don't think, but
well, I mean, well, I think you're getting epidemic and pandemic mixed up because I mean, pandemic is just speaking to like the how quickly the virus spreads here.
okay, gotcha.
It's not about the lethality of the virus here.
So yeah, the infrastructure is definitely going to change. I think it's going to be good for, like I said, families and I don't know if it'll be. Obviously, it's going to be a big hit to the movie theaters. I think we're going to see some downsizing, but I don't think movie theaters are going to go anywhere just because people like the experience. And we do have a lot of other kinds of movie theaters that they got like the sweet recliners. Obviously, we have sweet recliners in our own living rooms most of the time, but
Sure,
I
yeah.
I don't know. You'll probably see a drop off in price to get people to go more often.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's well, it's also going to be interesting just because here's the thing, if theaters start going away, the price for like video on demand and streaming services are going to go up. That's just how it's going to work here.
Yeah,
And ultimately, I think, I could see theaters potentially being kind of going the way of like maybe the drive-in theater where it's, not as like big of a thing. Maybe like, there's like maybe one or two screens and, they don't just play like new stuff, but they play like, the old stuff too. Like, they'll do like, I don't know, Raiders of the Lost Ark one week. They'll do A New Hope a different week or something like that,
yeah,
just as a way to, kind of create like a big spectacle experience.
totally.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to really see how this whole thing's going to shake out because obviously theaters have been on the decline in the recent years, and really the only thing that I think most people really go out and see anymore are like your superhero movies, your Star Wars movies, what have you. So uh, I think if we don't have like a bunch of movies for that people want to go see in theaters, I mean, yeah, I could see there being some type of downsizing of some kind.
Sure. Let's talk about some of those movies now.
Sure.
We got some news per different people, but let's start with we're going to kind of be in the Disney MCU vein for a little bit. One of them being there's a rumor, and there has been a rumor for a little bit, that Daredevil is going to be in Spider-Man 3.
Hmm.
This news
Now,
comes from Kevin Smith, which, in my opinion, he has no insider information. He has written for some Marvel comic books and done some stuff for them.
yeah,
Um,
he's
but
also done some DC stuff too, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he has any insider information. Uh, you know, uh, the actor himself has come out and said he doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So which is kind of a catch-22, I think, because it's like he was a really good Daredevil. Like Charlie Cox did a great job as Daredevil on the MCU Netflix series.
Yeah.
And I think the key word there is may show
Yeah.
up. Can mean anything, and I don't like Kevin Smith at all. I think he's an idiot. Uh, but this again has been rumored for a while. This is not new information. He's just kind of re-saying these things, and I've seen it many articles on potential people coming to the MCU and Venom, and so it's nothing groundbreaking, but it would be really cool if it did happen. Now, as much as I love Charlie Cox in the role,
Hmm.
uh, I would be open to the recast if they found the right person. But like let's say Ben Affleck, like if he came and he's like, I want to play Daredevil, I'd be willing to see what he could do with the role.
Yeah. I mean, I think his time as Daredevil is pretty much past here. And plus, I mean, not to
Wait, he was
mention, like,
Daredevil?
yeah, right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, on a real note, like I'm fine if they have to recast it. I would understand if they recasted it, but Charlie did a really good job playing Daredevil. So
Yeah, no, and I don't understand, like, as you were saying, like, where this whole information from Kevin Smith is coming from. I mean, obviously Kevin knows people both at DC and at Marvel. Heck, he even was able to go to I think the set of Force Awakens before we knew anything about Force Awakens here. So I mean, he's got some insider stuff on that front, but
Yeah,
it seems to me, knowing how the fact that Kevin's in the industry, I don't think anybody's really going to tell him like really anything that significant. Plus, I don't think it's like why would he even say that here? It's like
I don't know. I don't know.
you're a director. You know that studios and movie makers typically like to play their cards a little close to the chest when they're making a movie here. But
Unless
yeah,
they want the information leaked to create buzz.
maybe I don't know, but and I mean I kind of get why they would potentially recast Matt Murdock, mostly just to disassociate the with
Yeah,
the rated R field that Charlie Cox brought to the role, and then also separate themselves from Netflix. But I think it'd be a dumb move if they did that personally, just because I feel like technically Daredevil is already part of the MCU,
yeah,
and it's it's just one of those things where I feel like, okay, the Daredevil show got canceled a lot quicker than it should have been. Like
yeah,
they wanted to make more. It was actually well received, and even Marvel has teased that, hey, this is not necessarily the end for Daredevil as you've known him. So they've teased that they are going to be doing something with that brand at some point in time here. So if they do end up recasting, I feel like that's going to miff a bunch of people if they don't actually make it Charlie Cox.
yeah.
But
I mean, I think enough people probably didn't see that show like that are watching these shows. Like the little kids did not watch Daredevil.
oh no, come on.
So I'm okay if they do. I mean, obviously, I like Charlie Cox a lot. I think that it would be cool if he was, but I'm okay if he's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, I mean, he's definitely not like, the MCU material that we've come to expect from like the Marvel movies here. I mean,
Yeah,
essentially, like he'd probably be more at home, like in the Christopher Nolan Batman universe here in terms of like tone and setting.
totally.
But I don't know. I'm holding out for Charlie Cox just because, like I said, I like the show. I want to see it continue in some capacity, and this is going to be like maybe a way to kind of introduce, uh, you know, a broader audience to Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and then maybe eventually lead into a movie or like a revival of the series of some sort here. I'd be into it,
Sure.
but we'll see.
Um, Up at Disney, so in contingency with Marvel, Disney obviously owns Marvel.
Hmm.
There's a live action Hercules being made, and the Russo brothers are set to produce.
Hmm.
And writer Dave Callahan is set to put the pen to paper, and write the script. And he has written Shang-Chi, which we have not seen yet. That is not out. The
Hmm.
Expendables and Doom. Now, the
So,
Expendables and Doom writing, it's not good.
so
So
are we talking like the Doom movie with Dwayne the Rock
yes,
Johnson?
yes, I
Yeah,
think, I think,
those movies were written.
yeah, I thought they was improvised for the most part.
Yeah, honestly,
So the big question is, which Avenger is going to play Hercules?
Scarlett Johansson,
Scarlett
because
Johansson.
they're both gingers, kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the Russo brothers just had a movie called Extraction, which I have not seen yet. I really want to see. I might do a little review on it.
yeah.
Uh,
I've been meaning to watch it
with
too.
Chris Hemsworth, and so maybe Chris Hemsworth. Here's the thing: I think Hercules is pretty young in the movie, so I don't think it'll be anyone we know. But I just thought it'd be funny. I mean, the Russo brothers like working with the same actors.
No, they
Um,
do. Like
so yeah,
21 Bridges had Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what kind of comes from that. I think that's cool. I liked the movie as a kid. I would say it's classic Disney. Yeah, so maybe William Defoe as Hades. We'll see what happens with that.
That'd be awesome.
Um,
Who,
yeah.
who
Oh
originally played Hades? That wasn't William Defoe, was it?
no, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I have no idea who the voice for him was.
Okay.
Um, But I don't know. Speaking and like, I guess it's more like that's a rumor, but other rumors that have been stirring. Did you hear the rumor about the Joker coming to the Batman movie?
Oh, the Robert Pattinson movie?
No, 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 no. Yeah, sorry, the Robert Pattinson movie.
I didn't hear those rumors here, and I really hope that's unfounded just because I feel like Joker has been. I mean, we just had a movie about the
Yeah,
Joker here.
I'm not saying like there's just rumors right now floating around. So we didn't write a report on it or anything, but I just saw it pop up on I was surfing the web and I thought that the guy they had in mind or the guy that's rumored to play him is interesting, but
Who's rumored to play him?
it was the guy that played Billy Russo in the Punisher series.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I
he
don't
would
know.
fit it, I think, but
I mean, I could see it, but I can also not see it at the same time here, I guess.
well,
I
I mean
don't
that's
know.
like anyone. It's like
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix before he played him,
I mean, there's
or
definitely.
Heath Ledger.
Well, here's the thing. It's like if you told me that there was going to be a movie made about like an older Batman, kind of like, similar to like the Dark Knight Returns type style here, where he's like in his 50s fighting crime and, fighting older enemies and stuff like that, or older
Yeah.
versions of his enemies. If you told me that William Dafoe was going to play the Joker in that movie, I'd be like, yeah,
No, that makes
okay.
sense. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Some
yeah, I
people
mean,
it does make sense. Yeah.
some
Okay, I
people,
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
yeah, some people definitely, and I mean him. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I
He
haven't
played
seen
Prince
really enough.
Caspian in Narnia, so I can't really see past that.
Did he? Was that him?
That was him, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember his
Okay.
name. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
I
get
don't
back
know.
into the concrete stuff, not worry about the rumor mill.
Yeah, so I
Space
well,
Jam 2 is finally moving forward.
yeah,
The world
yeah,
can
finally.
rest. The world can rest.
Oh,
Um
yeah, don't worry about the virus anymore here. Space Jam 2 is happening.
Space Jam 2 is happening. Put it on your calendars, except there's no release date yet. The only thing we got
Actually
is
there
something.
is.
Oh, sorry, there is. I thought they only released the graphic when I saw it. So obviously, LeBron James is set to
Mhm.
star in it. It's called Space Jam: A New Legacy. Comes out July 16th, 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no Jordan in this, then it's a missed opportunity. Like,
No, I mean, I feel like
I guarantee you, if it's gonna be something similar where talent's getting stolen, it's gonna be like all the Golden State Warriors and then like Kevin
yeah,
Durant because he's not there anymore. But anyway,
which is kind of funny because do you remember that it's kind of a brief subplot in that movie, but when they suspect that there's like a virus going around when like
yes,
the parents,
yeah,
and then like they close down the
the
basketball
NBA,
season and all that. That's real life right
yeah,
now.
it's prophetic.
So, but yeah, I mean, so I think this movie is a little late to the party. Like I think if I don't know, like maybe if you did this movie maybe a couple years back,
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
I
know.
don't know.
It's on Netflix. I mean, my nephew watches it. That's like his
That's
jam
true.
right now.
That's true. I think it did like jump up to the top 10 like for the top 10 rankings for Netflix when it came out that week. But the thing is like, you know, the thing this movie had going for it was Michael Jordan.
Oh, big
And
time.
as a kid, everybody knew who Michael Jordan was and
Yeah,
everybody loved Michael Jordan. And so you throw a movie at a kid that says, "Hey kid, this movie has Michael Jordan and it also has a bunch of these classic cartoon characters. What kid is not going to want to watch that?"
yeah,
And I
pretty
mean,
much.
I don't know if like kids are, of the similar ilk, like with LeBron James here, to be
No, no, no,
honest
no.
here. I
I
mean, I
mean,
think ultimately what this is going to come down to is it's going to be 90s kids taking their kids, a little bit of nostalgia, kind of introducing them to like a new thing, and also giving them a reason to rewatch Space Jam with their kids on Netflix here, basically.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. So yeah, we're gonna switch to some video game news. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is revealed as the next setting for the new game.
Yeah, so it's going to be 9th century Dark Ages, going to focus on the Vikings and specifically the Vikings warring against England at that time. Uh, open world RPG, kind of how Origins and Odyssey was. And it's going to have a dual wielding mechanic, which sounds like it's similar to Dark Souls, where you can equip like a shield in one hand or two axes, however you want to
That'd
go
be cool.
about it. Yeah. It's going to have a lot more emphasis on customizable weapons and characters this go around. So you get to choose like whether your character is a dude or a guy, or sorry, a girl
A
or
dude
a
or a
guy.
guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
those
So,
those are the only characters I'm picking. So
I mean, it's a pretty good list to pick from here.
yeah,
But, uh, sorry. So it's also going to be coming out on this generation and also next generation hardware. So
sweet.
just some brief thoughts on it. They're definitely, I think, providing a fix for like the Skyrim Witcher style game, which is like, big open world RPG setting and, has like that Viking focus. Because, I mean, here's the thing, Skyrim, that's Tamriel's version of the Viking or Nordic countries here. I mean, it
Oh
just
yeah,
is. The Nords are Vikings. I
yeah.
mean, through and through.
Mm.
And I'm kind of interested in to see with this one. And, I kind of like it, the whole Viking aesthetic and whatnot.
Sure.
I do need to see some gameplay. I mean, so far all we've gotten are just like little details and then like a cinematic trailer. And Vikings kind of seem to be the big thing going around these days. I mean, God of War adopted the Viking setting. For Honor has, one of the main factions as Vikings. Skyrim, obviously, and then Skellige and The Witcher 3. That's just Viking Islands here. And then you also
Yeah.
got the Viking show that I think just finished up. I'm not entirely
I don't
sure,
know.
but
All right, we're gonna head into our roundtable review. Dorian, take it away.
all right. So, Clone Wars, episode 11 of
Yeah,
season 7.
yeah.
So, uh, give us some cliff notes here, man.
So again, another solid episode. I will preface it with that.
Okay.
So season 7, episode 11, like you said, it's called Shattered.
Mm-hmm.
Very ominous music to start, which, foreshadowing the plot twist, not the plot twist, because obviously we know it's coming. Order
Sure.
66 is the main focus of this whole episode.
Yep, it finally happened.
Finally happened. We're at Order 66. Ahsoka got her lightsabers back from the Mandalorian chick. I can't remember her name right now for some reason. And then they have Maul in custody. And Ahsoka has a meeting with the council, and this conversation, I believe, is in episode 3. Ahsoka's definitely not a part of it.
No, it absolutely is.
So it's kind of like an alternate version of that. They're all holograms. She's on her ship, I believe, and she's talking with them. And she was gonna tell them about Maul's dream and of Anakin's betrayal of the Jedi Order. She opts not to, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I think probably because, I mean, for
She doesn't know if it's true.
She doesn't know if it's true. The only person she probably really trusts out of the Jedi is Anakin here. So she wanted to tell Anakin directly. And yeah, she's not a Jedi anymore. So she's wanted to get Anakin's 2 cents on the matter before she even, talks about it with like Obi-Wan or Yoda or Mace Windu.
Right. Maul's in a carbonite type transport. I would say this is pre-carbonite, a very similar kind of aesthetic. They kind of put him in a holding cell. And then they have actual audio from Revenge of the Sith. So Ahsoka feels something happening, and she could hear Anakin. And it's not the voice actor Anakin from the show; it's Anakin Hayden Christensen Anakin.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan, and so very interesting. They put that in. I liked it a lot,
especially the unlimited power line.
Yeah. Yes. Order 66 is here. Ahsoka survives and releases Maul. Basically, she's in a room and she's surrounded by the clone troopers, including Rex, and they all turn on her. She gets away, which is a pretty cool scene. She recruits some droids, so she starts a droid rebellion.
Yeah, which is foreshadowing Solo here.
Totally,
but
not really. So she gets the droids that are on board to help her because they're like, "What's going on?" and she's like, "Here's what happened. They turned on me." She quickly finds what's going on with the clones, and why they turned, and so basically she figures out what's going on. It's the inhibitor chip in their heads. She actually singles out Rex. She saves him, removes the chip, and she's like, "Okay, so is it just you, or is it?" She's like, "No, it's all of us." And she's just like, "Oh crap!" Basically,
Yeah.
obviously, we knew Rex turned at some point, where the inhibitor chip either got removed or something else happened, or he got hit in the head, or I don't know, like something happened. But now we know for sure what happened, and so he helps her kind of get out of Dodge. And so super dope episode. It gives us insight into kind of Ahsoka's Order 66 and how she escaped it.
Mhm.
I think we're kind of thinking she maybe wasn't around it until this season. Yeah, so just wondering if we'll see Vader at this point at the end of it. If we'll
Yeah.
see a Vader, or even if we'll see any scenes of Anakin doing his thing. I'm guessing we will.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got one more episode, I believe, and it's
Yeah,
over.
so it's going to be the series finale. It's also going to be premiering on Star Wars Day. So if that doesn't build hype or set expectations, I don't really know what does.
There's a lot
Because
coming out on May the 4th. Be with you.
yeah, for Star Wars, we got the Mandalorian docuseries that's
Yep.
going to be happening. Also, Rise of Skywalker is being put out on Disney Plus at that time. So yeah, no, there's quite a bit going on that front, but I think uh I mean, what would really be a banger of a way to send this off is if it's like a three-way fight between like Vader, Maul, and Ahsoka. Like,
That's not happening though.
I mean, don't say what you're saying. Like, just let it happen, man. But no, you're probably right. It probably isn't going to happen, but I can dream, I
Oh,
guess.
totally, totally.
But
Um, but yeah, no. I thought it was a good episode. Interested to see what they'll do in the next episode. Like if it'll just be setting up like where they leave these characters, like where Maul goes, where Ahsoka goes.
I'm sure there will be some
Um,
of that
so,
for certain here. But
but yeah, I know May the 4th. This is a side note. I think every Star Wars video movie will be $4 to purchase on digital.
that ain't bad.
So you could get the whole thing for what's that?
So 9 times
20,
4, 36.
20 what?
9 times
Yeah,
4,
36.
36. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what you're saying. I was trying to I was like I
Oh.
was going to say, but anyway, yeah, $36 you could have every Star Wars movie for the all three trilogies. Pretty good price.
No, not a bad price at all. But yeah, no, this episode pretty solid. I mean, we finally got Order 66. I like that Maul basically did his own version of that Vader Rogue One scene where he's like just going through
Yes.
the hallway.
Oh, I
Like
forgot to write that in the notes. Yeah.
that scene is pretty brutal for like a kid show. I mean, it's not
Oh,
gory or
yeah.
anything, but there are
No.
definitely some
Decapitations.
yeah, some yeah, uh
That was
body
dope.
parts, yeah,
That's
getting
exactly
chopped off.
what I was thinking too through it. I was like, this is the Rogue One scene.
Yeah,
But
no.
because he like uses the fourth force, he pulls off some panels from the walls, using those as shields as the clones are turning on him.
Mhm.
He throws it at him, decapitating some of them. He pulls some guy's arm through and chops that. It was crazy. It was a cool scene though. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, pretty cool scene. And I mean, kind of bummed because it kind of seems like just the way the episode is at least like the tone and the direction that the episode is going, it seems like most of the mall stuff is going to be done or is done, which is
Yeah,
kind of what I tuned in for here. So
totally.
if we don't get some decent mall action in the next episode, I'm gonna be a little disappointed.
I mean, I don't know what else they'll do at this point. I'm really interested to see what this last episode is.
Yeah. So anyhow, so moving on, we are talking about the Parks and Rec special that
Whoop,
they
whoop.
aired for a charity event, basically to help like people who are struggling financially or like with groceries and food for COVID-19. So why don't we get into your thoughts on it, Brett?
Yeah, great episode.
Mm-hmm.
really fun to watch, especially in this time. You know, like um, it was kind of, it was basically comfort food if you want to put it that way.
Oh, big time,
This
big
was big
time.
time comfort food. I was super surprised with all who they got to return. Like
Yeah, no,
literally everyone came back.
pretty much like almost every significant character or like anything that the who has been a
Even
significant part of.
insignificant. Like
Yeah,
we got, so before I jump into it, obviously I needed a Jean Ralphio. I got him. We got Jean Ralphio. He had a commercial that popped up. We needed Johnny
which
Karate. We got Johnny Karate.
yep,
We also got characters that I was really surprised, and that's Dennis Feinstein,
yep.
Perd Hapley, you
You
heard with
heard.
Perd,
Mhm.
Joan Calamezzo, and Jeremy Jam. Like
Yeah,
literally all those little side like characters that were recurring. We got
yeah.
those characters in some way, shape, or form for this episode, which was brilliant.
No, it was great. It kind of reminded me of like how uh the Johnny Karate episode from the last season, how it went down, like where you would have like the main show, but then you'd have like these fake commercials like for a Paunch Burger or like Ron's Very Good Construction Company and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they would
But
pop up in the episode. Yeah, the only
yeah.
person that we didn't get was what was the name of the guy that talked really loud? Uh, was it Craig?
Oh yeah, Craig.
We didn't
Yeah.
get Craig.
We didn't yeah, no, we didn't get Craig. Yeah, but all overall, I mean, with just what we got from this episode, honestly kind of exceeded my expectations. I really thought it was just going to be maybe just the main cast doing Skype calls, which it was for the most part. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it starts off with like Bobby Newport with
Oh, I
Paul
forgot. Yeah,
Rudd.
Bobby Newport's back. Yeah.
Yeah, like kicking the whole thing off, completely oblivious to what's going on, wearing a Nope 2012 shirt,
Yeah,
which was like because yeah, they ran against each
they did.
other
Yeah,
when that happened during that whole time. So it's hilarious, yeah.
so
But
good.
couple of things that I really appreciate about this. So Ben getting back in the claymation and Cones of
Jones of
Dunshire,
Dunshire. We called it. Yep.
toe to so,
Yep.
toe to so. But no, I love just Ron's like segments where he's just like talking about I've been socially distancing ever since I was 4 years old. I'm up in my cabin, just
Oh
having
yeah,
a
I
good
forgot.
time.
Tammy's back. Tammy too
Yeah,
had an appearance.
Tammy sneaks in, and so they have to find her up. And yeah, I totally forgot. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Like
They're
Nick
married.
Offerman is married to the lady that plays Tammy too. I'm spacing on her name right now, but yeah, so it's like, yeah, why wouldn't they actually shoot a part together here,
Obviously,
but,
yeah.
but yeah, I really love that on his uh Grizzle uh video chat ID that his username is blocked and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Just really subtle, just little subtle gag, and the fact that his log cabin has Wi-Fi is also amazing. It's kind of a dream of
Anti-Ron,
mine.
but yeah.
Well, it's a dream of mine. I just want to retire one day with a log cabin with like electricity, plumbing, and Wi-Fi. But
Yeah, someday.
beyond that point,
Someday.
yeah, but yeah, no, really surprised how many people they got, and I loved it. Like this is what any Parks and Rec fan could want for like an
Yeah,
episode like this. In all honesty,
totally. I think the funniest thing of the whole episode is the excuse they give for why Andy's not with April, because
oh, that's
obviously they're not married in real life.
yeah,
And so Andy's like, "Yeah, I'm out in the shed," and they're like, "How long have you been out there?" He's like, "2 days."
yeah,
He's locked inside. He has like
yeah.
a he can't figure the code out, and April can't open it because he can't figure the code out. So
Well, yeah, well, April doesn't
it's
do
locked from
anything
the inside.
because Burt Macklin needs help from nobody here.
Yep. Yeah, I love.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got Burt Macklin too. That's right. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to
Burt Mac.
rewatch this episode. But yeah, no, super good episode. I mean, it was cool. Obviously, I'm sad that there won't be any more episodes. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think they did a really good, tasteful job of kind of putting it all together.
no, they most certainly did, and it's just yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it feels like this show didn't skip a beat. Like
No,
it's
yeah,
like the writing and everything is just as witty and snappy as it was when it went off the air.
totally. No, I agree. Yeah. Well, that's it for our episode. Thank you guys for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on our social medias. Also, go to Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this, leave us a review. It's going to help us out a lot. 5-star that thing for us. Have an awesome week. Remember, everyone's a nerd about something.